People, deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Now, obviously, the season is done. All we've got is transfer news, and we've been taken around the houses courtesy of some creative journalism by some of the journalist people. The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. 99.9% of these rumors are BS, but they make for great talking points. Now, apparently, there's been a U-turn or a twist where Thomas Partey's future is concerned. PSG allegedly have bidded for Martinelli. Yeah, I don't believe it either, folks. And Nico Williams, a man that's in high demand that every now and again Arsenal are linked with, apparently has indirectly spoken on his future. In and amongst that, there's obviously now we're being linked with Osimhen and Josh Rezertsky, as the Sesko thing didn't really happen for Arsenal. In fact, it's not a case of it didn't really happen. It didn't happen. So if you allow me to share my screen, let's go over some of these rumors, people. I'm pretty sure everybody's bored where Arsenal striker search is concerned. I think if Arsenal can find the right opportunity that makes sense, they'll do it. I do think there's an admiration for someone like Osimhen, but where you look at his release clause, his wages, he's probably been priced out of a move, or it seems that every club that could be interested in him, bar allegedly the Saudi club, so PSG, Arsenal, Chelsea, seems like they're keeping their cards close to their chest. And it's not like they're not interested, but they're looking at other targets that might make sense, or other solutions or creative solutions. Reports out of Italy have said Victor Osimhen is waiting for the Premier League, where his agent is talking to Arsenal. Without offers in Europe, it seems certain that Osimhen will move to Saudi Arabia. I mean, you get a lot of money, but after all that, I was a Chelsea fan growing up and I'd love to play in the Premier League and all these things, but hey, it doesn't look like such. I know he signed that contract at Napoli to leave via the front door. What I mean by that is to try and get them an important fee, but you've arguably shot yourself in the foot. It's great business from Napoli, because if you're sold to the highest bidder, really. Maybe in hindsight, should they have let Osimhen go when they won the league? Because last season wasn't exactly anything to scream and shout about for Napoli as a collective. I'm sure Conte wants to keep him. They have been linked with Lukaku, owing to if Osimhen does leave. Apparently, the player is convinced Chelsea, Manchester United, or Arsenal will buy him this summer. I'd say the common denominator between those three clubs is they probably all need a striker, really. In fact, they all need a striker. But yeah, we'll have to see. Apparently, Osimhen is convinced that in the end, he'll end up at Chelsea, Man United, or Arsenal. And you never know. It is worth noting that apparently he's got 120 to 130 million euro release clause. And obviously, at the moment, it doesn't appear that Napoli want to budge on that. Realistically, I mean, anything can happen. And if anyone's likely to spend that money, bar someone like Paris Saint-Germain, it would be a British club. But I don't think Arsenal are going to do that. I don't actually even think Man United are going to do that. I think Chelsea are the more likely of the three to do that, but I don't even think they're keen on it, if I'm completely honest with you. Apparently, he's got interest from Saudi Arabia, and you could get a lot of money there, really. He's got a deal until 2026, so maybe people are willing to wait and see what's going on next year. But at 26 years of age, you'd imagine, not that it's now or never, but now's the time to try a new environment. Again, I don't really care about the Sesko stuff, people, but apparently we still have a strong position and relationship with his camp in relation to his agent and whatnot, so that could be one to revisit one day. Apparently there has been some rumors online that next year they'll let him go for 70 million euros, so we'll have to see, man. Big up Sesko, but it's the end of the Arsenal rumors where he's concerned. Apparently, Arsenal are in no rush to offload backup goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale and will demand big money for him this summer. The 26-year-old is keen to go in the off-season and is not happy playing second fiddle to David Raya, who will sign permanently from Brentford in the coming weeks. Arteta is believed to want two top-class goalkeepers, and he's unwilling to allow Ramsdale to leave unless it's on the club's terms. Fair enough. I understand all debates. If you're Aaron Ramsdale, you probably just want to focus on the Euros, and then whether it's leaving on loan or joining Newcastle, Wolves, AC Milan, and all the clubs he's been linked with, deal with your future then. I like this from Arsenal. Of course, I'd like Ramsdale to play. I do think Ramsdale, if he does ask to leave the club, will let him go. But at the end of the day, what we haven't done in previous years is have players under contract. And, it's kind of like we hoodwinked Ramsdale. We gave him a new deal and then Raya came in. So he's under contract. He's 26 years of age. We should be getting decent money for someone that playing regular football could potentially push Pickford for a number one spot. And at 26 years of age, you know, you arguably, they say, and you know what, they actually say the average Premier League footballer, we always assume you play from 1920 to 35. But apparently, when you consider injuries and all of that stuff, it's only 9 years as a professional footballer. But as a goalkeeper, and obviously I'm exaggerating a bit, but a 26-year-old goalkeeper, you're a baby, really. You're seeing, you know, look how long Buffon was playing for. So I rate that from Arsenal. At the end of the day, the deal has to make sense. You know, if it doesn't, let him go out on loan, and then we'll review what's going on there. But we should be at least 40 odd million quid because he's 26, English premium, especially if he goes to a rival, whether we rate him or not. It's just, unfortunately, with Ramsdale, his stock has fallen because Arteta has brought in David Raya for how he wants to play and whatnot, people. So it is what it is. I mean, if we was trying, you know, if it was the same context as with Aaron Ramsdale at another club and he's their number two and we tried to buy him, we'd be having to pay something ridiculous, people. Interested clubs have balked at that valuation after making initial inquiries, while the Gunners will also block loan offers for the ex-Sheffield United goalkeeper. So we'll have to see. The Gunners will only consider homegrown shot stoppers for the role as they prepare to sell multiple academy products in the off season. I mean, we're probably technically going to sign 3 goalkeepers, in my opinion. David Raya is going to be made permanent. Obviously, if Ramsdale leaves, somebody's going to have to come in. And, you know, obviously, Carl Hines probably going out on loan. Young James Hilson has left the club. Arthur Okonkwo's left the club. So somebody's going to have to pick up the pieces as the third choice goalkeeper for Arsenal. If you could get a homegrown one, fair enough, because obviously, in theory, we could let a number of English players go. So we'll have to see. But crucially, Ramsdale's under contract until 2026. So we do have a bit of wiggle room. And it's unfortunate, you know, you just got to, he didn't win the Golden Glove like David Raya did, but he was PFA Team of the Year and he did quite well in the year that he was the regular. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Arsenal have consistently been linked with left backs, and allegedly Arsenal plan to recruit a new left back this summer. And you know, this publication via Graham Bailey said we're considering Bradley Loco, who I think is decent. You know, at 22 years of age, I think he's good going forward. I'm not too sure he's the best 1v1. You know, he's more of a proactive defender rather than an engaged thinking defender. But you never know. Ben Jacobs, no clue on his success rate of getting accurate stories, with the greatest of respect. Apparently, he has said there's no guarantee Thomas Partey leaves Arsenal. He could simply see out the final year of his contract. Partey has had historical Saudi interest. Newly promoted Al Quadzia, forgive me for mispronunciation, are understood to be interested if Partey changes his mind on a switch to the Saudi Pro League. So a creative way, happy birthday, Partey, by the way, creative way of saying what we already know. You know, he's been engaged. He's got a young kid now, so he could say, you know what, we're staying in London at this kind of, we've got some stability at this moment. We're staying in London. Obviously, running down your contract means you're more attractive to potential buyers. Again, if somebody is going to buy Partey, bar the Saudi clubs, are you going to give Arsenal anything close to what they want, which is not going to be the 45 odd million, and give him wages that he wants, which might not be what he gets at Arsenal, but competitive on a player that has a lot of injury records, is 30, 31. You know, 6 months from now, 7 months from now, you can actually agree a move for him in January for free if you're a foreign club. So we'd have to see. And also, would Arsenal sanction Thomas Partey leaving at this moment in time for all the rumours with Douglas Luiz, Zubimendi, all this guy, that guy, and the third? No central midfield has been brought to the football club. So I do think Partey, I've always said it, I do think he's in that boat kind of with Zinchenko, Kiwior, to a degree, Aaron Ramsdale, you know, Gabriel Jesus, players that I think the club would listen to offers if they're placed at the club's door, but they're not actively looking to force you out, if I'm honest. It's more you're going to have to field offers for them, or they're going to have to force the ball out in that regard. Again, BS story of the live of the video, people. Again, with the greatest of respect, you never know, and I don't know. I can't mock it because PSG could have bidded for Martinelli, but I strongly doubt PSG have bidded for Martinelli, or we've rejected a bid. Again, his season wasn't where it was last year, but he's under contract for a healthy amount of time. He's made it clear he wants to stay. He's bloody good footballer, so it's going to cost something ridiculous. And we already potentially need another attacker or attackers, either out wide or up front, or a versatile man. It does not make sense. But maybe, you know, in terms of entertaining you lot, maybe there could be some truth to that. Apparently, Kiwior wants to play more and he'd like to leave Arsenal, which asks for 20 to 25 million to sell him. Juventus, AC Milan, and Napoli have shown interest in the Polish centre back. But hey, if the money makes sense, let my man go then, innit? Nico Williams has been speaking about his future, allegedly, folks, and said, I'm very happy in Bilbao. It is the club that has given me everything. I have clear where I'll be for the pre-season. That's all. I've told my agent that I do not want to know anything until the Euros is over. So he said I'm reporting back to Bilbao for pre-season, which contractually he's obliged to do. But he hasn't said I'm staying for life or whatever. And there are some rumors that he only wants Barcelona. Whether Barca can afford him, I don't know. Ben Jacobs has also spoke about Milos Kerkez, who's consistent in us being linked with left backs. Arsenal ideally want to bring in a young, versatile left back as well. Bournemouth's Milos Kerkez has been discussed by Arsenal, although more serious interest to date has come from Chelsea and Man United. Bournemouth don't want to sell the Hungarian, who they value at 35 million. So we'll have to watch that space. On Aaron Ramsdale, he said he's open to moving abroad for the right offer. A transfer may take some time, especially given he is now focused on the Euros with England. Arsenal are very understanding of Ramsdale's situation. They view him as a model professional and of huge value to the squad, both on and off the field, but they will reluctantly let him exit if the right offer arrives, knowing his priority is to be a starting goalkeeper. I think that's just about fair. On Eddie Nketiah, Ben Jacobs has said he's still high on Crystal Palace's radar, with Arsenal expecting 30 to 35 million. That number will only rise if the market becomes inflated as a flurry of strikers move. They are well protected to command a healthy fee because Nketiah is contracted until 2027. So hopefully we get an important fee. Charles Watts has said a new midfielder remains a priority for Arsenal, with another wide attacker also on the agenda. The club do need to offload some players, however, to boost their summer budget and make room in the squad, with the likes of Smith Rowe, Eddie Nketiah and Thomas Partey all expected to be on the market should good offers arrive. Allegedly, Nico Williams only wants to join Barcelona. He's even ready to reject other offers, sit tight and wait for next summer if he can't join Barca now, which is probably what is likely to happen, in my opinion. Arsenal remain calm, says Charles Watts, about how this. Big up to Charles Watts for getting to 100k subs on YouTube as well, about how the summer is shaping up, especially when it comes to their attacking options. While their intention is to strengthen up front, they believe they do have good depth in forward areas, which is highlighted by the club record tally of 91 Premier League goals at last season. Fair enough. On Fufana, Romano has said he's expected to leave AS Monaco, but currently he's not on Paris Saint-Germain's shortlist. Premier League clubs allegedly are monitoring him, so let's see what we can do then. Let's get that done. Once again, Ben Jacobs has spoken about the Bournemouth left back, and again, Joshua Zirkzee has been relinked with Arsenal and Manchester United, folks. But you know, that's off the backdrop of him going to AC Milan. Apparently, Kaya Jarupkin, his agent, could be the one kind of making things a bit difficult in that. Apparently, he wants 15 million euros in commissions and fees, and apparently that is despite the fact that AC Milan are willing to pay his release clause. That's the issue. He's also been linked with Juventus, and it's actually been a turbulent 24 hours for him, because him and young Ian Matson, they've been called up to the Dutch squad after initially not getting in there owing to certain injuries, and he's in Miami. Zirkzee's in Miami. He's had to cut his holiday short, really and truly. So we'll have to see, man. But you let me know your thoughts in potentially the players that could depart, the players that could come in. Joshua Zirkzee, where you at with Osman? Would you actually let Aaron Ramsdale leave? What do you think we could fetch for Kirill and Nketiah? Would you actually let them depart? Let me know your thoughts on what we need to do in the summer and potential targets. Check out the rest of the other content. Thank you for tuning in, people. Stay blessed, stay safe. And before I get out of it, as we approach the Euros, make sure your notification bells are on, because we will be doing watch-alongs for such. But you take care, stay blessed. Peace.